next guest into the Daily Connerton Memorial Company interview chair is the ranking senator on the Public Health Committee. So he's dealing with pandemic policy issues every day. He's also the ranking senator on the Planning and Development Committee, where there he deals with the issue of zoning, personal property rights, and local control. We welcome back to the show State Senator Tony Hwang. Senator, how are you this morning? Good morning.
I am great, Gary. I love listening to you, and you've got the best intro music.
Thank you so much. We hear that probably on a daily basis, actually.
Well, I think what you also say matters, because I think when you talk about making a positive difference in giving back, that is really why you and I both ran for public office. And it is a reminder that in our good fortune, in our ability to do what we're doing in public service, that we give back. And that theme has never left me, and I know you continue to do that as well.
Tony, I mean, you and I don't mean when I was just in the legislature. I mean that you and I, even to this day, we have a responsibility to not only our constituents, but to our state. You know, it doesn't have to be negative. We're talking all morning, about the best states to retire. Later on this week, I'm going to talk about, give me some great attributes about our state of Connecticut. We hear so often about the negative, and it's overtaxed, it's this and that. It's a quality of life here, and listen, services cost. Now, there's no mistaking about it that we're overtaxed. I get that, and I don't think anybody would really disagree with me. But I really believe that it's up to us. And Tony, let me just add one more thing. And I was saying this. Maybe you can chime in on this. The divide between the haves and the have-nots. I was just saying in my lead up. My wife and I were talking about this over the weekend. Is greater, and there's always been a huge divide for not just years but decades. It's just greater nowadays, and I feel that we are in a position, you and I, to contribute to the betterment of our state and of our society. In the positions that we're in, we can make this a better place for the next generation.
The middle class of this state are getting squeezed for all the challenges that we have, and the divide between the super wealthy and then the people that are in need of services and support, not on their own volition, but because of the challenges of the cycles of poverty. The problem is the middle class is getting squeezed. And you know what? You and I both love this state. And I've talked to so many people in our role, and what you hear from them, what keeps them in the state, it's their family, it's their friends. We have some of the most beautiful lands, topography and geography in the world, from the standpoint of coastline to the woodlands to beautiful rivers. We got 4 seasons. And what's not to be dismissed is we have great nonprofits and supportive services in the state that takes care of people. And one of the biggest is we have some of the best healthcare deliverers, facilities, and practitioners in the world. And that goes into right now, what I've learned more and more as the co-ranking member in public health is, we have handled this COVID pandemic better than the rest of the country. Mm-hmm. And that compliment needs to be given to the governor and needs to be given to the commissioner of public health. Yeah. But it also needs to be given to the people of this state that understand the devastation of this illness and taking it very seriously. But right now, with the vaccine, we've got some questions in regards to how are we handling this logistically? Well,
to your point, though, listen, some people are going to chastise me, but I don't care. I think the governor gets sold a little short here. I give him credit for keeping our numbers down. You want to make arguments about the economy and the aftermath and so on and so forth. That's a fair debate, but our numbers are down, and we thought that we were going to have this huge spike. Remember, wait till the fall starts. And then the fall came here, and the numbers went up a little bit, but then he made an adjustment, and then that winter came, And now it's January, the holiday season or January, and now the numbers are really going to spike. And they went up a little, then they went back down. It's all things considered, it's not too bad. So
no, he's done a good job.
He has,
and we as residents of the state should be grateful and appreciative. Could he do better? Yes. And what I mean by that is the executive powers that he has had, and he just recently asked for an extension of that extension beyond February 9th. That is an important part of the conversation, to take the lessons that we've learned from virtually almost a year of his executive order to take a step back and allow the equal branches of the legislative body, the representative government, which has been dormant. And we just opened up session. We're having public hearings. We're debating bills that we should now, as we evaluate the extension of his executive powers, the approach that the legislators, the people that represent the voices of so many people, for example, restaurants, small businesses, and all the various entities in which his executive orders have impacted but have had no voice.
Yeah.
I think we have to reevaluate for the February 9th and future how we handle the legislative process and the balance between the executive and representative government, the equal branches of government. We've got to get back to work to make sure that the voices of the people are heard so that we can make better policies. Because right now the challenge is we've had a complete shutdown of how we operate without a lot of people's voice in it. And that is one of the disappointments and the frustrations in this process, is the fact that we are in a crisis. We do need quick responses, but nevertheless, the people's voices aren't getting heard, and we have to make that adjustment.
Yeah, you know what? I want to just pivot a little bit and talk about public health, because I know since we were talking about the coronavirus and its aftermath and the job that, really, quite frankly, the good job that Lamont is doing with keeping our numbers down. You recently held a virtual forum with experts to answer people's questions about the vaccine. So I'll bet there were many questions about this. Do you remember any of them that you can share for us?
Absolutely.
Oh, good.
We had members of the governor's vaccine distribution advisory panel, which composed of three major components: the allocation, which are the healthcare providers on the grassroots, as well as scientific experts in looking at the safety and validation of the vaccine, and the medical side in regards to the delivery and the physicians that offer that. So that panel advised the governor in how we are handling the distribution and the allocation of the vaccine. So the easy part upon getting the vaccine, which is an incredible medical miracle, is the fact that 1A section, the 1A grouping, which is our medical frontline first responders and our nursing home and assisted living residents, they were taken care of. That is an easy one. What the challenge has been is in 1B, the next category of more immunization is the fact that it was originally going to be first responders and 75 and over, and people with comorbidity and health danger risks are in line to take that vaccine. But what the governor did was he expanded 1B to include now 65 and over. He included congregate housing, which now included prison and correctional facilities. He included our very valuable teachers and school staff. He also included a broader group. And what that did was create confusion, because what happened is you just increased the pool of people that want that shot with limited supply, with an exploded increased demand. You're going to have challenges. So what really should have been done was, what we found in the panel discussion was that people 65 and over are eligible under 1B, but they're not going to be able to schedule an appointment to probably late February until they take care of 75 and over and people with health risk comorbidities, that they're tiering 1B to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the list of priorities. That was not disclosed. That was shared. The second thing on that panel that was valuable was people can't get through to the call line, to the online system, which is a little bit convoluted because, government's not efficient on the consumer service side. And what we've shared with the audience is people have questions, they can call 211.
Well, and to that point, the people, we're talking about an age group. First and foremost, folks, we're talking with State Senator Tony Hwang. But there's people who are 75 years or older that are just not that computer literate, they're or not hooked up to the internet at all. And to make appointments online, it's almost counterintuitive. Talking about 211, I would imagine that it's going to get backed up quite a bit.
It has been overwhelmed, and the governor just yesterday, because of pressure from colleagues like myself, and the demand and the feedback from the representative voices, we've been able to tell the governor and the commissioner of public health that your lines aren't working, they're backed up, there's no live agents connecting, and we got that voice directly to them. And I'm happy to report that the governor and the commissioner just redoubled their staffing, reevaluated what they needed to do. But I also shared with the administration that they need to do a better job to communicate the tiering so people can manage their expectations. I got to tell you, Connecticut residents have been remarkable in their patience and understanding of what needs to be done. But when they get information, they're going to react because this is an insidious and dangerous disease. But when they're frustrated and they can't get information, and then you combine with the fact, Gary, that you're hearing that people are jumping the line, that they're using their connections or their VIP status, jumping the lines from people that are much more in need from a health risk basis and a criteria basis, that gets people angry as well.
Well, as rightfully so. So they're using their position, their political clout, or their professional clout to jump the line, and they don't even fit into the age. Is that what the age that they're currently accepting? Is that what you're saying?
Have done so, and that was one of the questions that came up was, Senator Chris Murphy was one of the first people to get the vaccine when it came out. Well, so, as people pointed out to me, he didn't fit in any of the criteria other than the fact that he was a U.S. senator. That is another point of frustration with people that look, if we're following the rules, follow the rules, because people that are in that category are in the category for a reason because of risk and health. And so I think I will summarize by saying I think we've done a really good job, and everybody involved from the entire system deserves a lot of credit. But right now we are at another stage, and we have to step up as an administration as well as services, and for us as legislators and being available to communicate. That's why I had the info session, and we'll continue to have it. And I hope in this conversation today we're able to share with the people of where we are right now is 75 and over, get appointments right now under 1B, 65 and up, and various other categories within 1B. Keep up to date. Go visit the Connecticut COVID info site, and you'll get updates. But right now, if you're 65 and over, you're probably looking at late February.
So about a month from now.
Yeah.
Now, is that due to the lack of the state being able to obtain enough of the virus, or enough of the vaccination, or what would you attribute that to?
I got to think in the beginning, because of our remarkable efficiency, we have been able to get a significant allotment greater than we were allocated because we were executing the vaccination. But as the rest of the country has caught up in the vaccination delivery process, there's increased demand. And so the supply has really been outstripped by the incredible demand, not only in this state, but the rest of the country. But then we also expanded Category 1B, which added additional pressure. So the challenge is the fact that we're going to get people vaccinated. We've got a system in place that we're holding together. But it really is important for us as colleagues that are representing and a voice for the people to make sure that when there's confusion, when there's misgivings in the system, we let the administration know. And hopefully they'll respond quickly. And in this case, they did respond quickly, and we'd be vigilant on it.
I give credit where credit is due. If someone's done a great job, I've given kudos to the governor right here on these airwaves when he's done something great. And I just want to be fair. You want to be fair and balanced, and Deidre Gifford as well. And then when something doesn't go as well planned or well executed, we got to let them know about that as well. So. Listen, we got to wrap things up. The time always goes by so fast when we're together. Keep up the great work and keep us up to date on these forums that you do or that you are putting on, because the more that we can educate our constituency, the better off everyone will be. State Senator Tony Hwang, thanks for being with us this morning.
Gary, always a pleasure, and be safe and healthy, everyone.
You do the same. We'll talk to you soon, my friend. Listen, we're going to come right back. It's true. There's some things that we can jump on Lamont